Hello and welcome along to another episode of this Snooker 19 career, the other O'Sullivan with me, Daniel. It's episode 33 and today it's the final one of the series, and it's because we're playing in the final of the World Snooker Championship, hoping to end with the ultimate glory. 500,000 up for grabs and a win against the world number one and namesake Ronnie O'Sullivan, as we could complete our objective in the final episode and become champion of the world and shoot ourselves up the world rankings. Just one title win before this season, the Scottish Open halfway through the year, and we sacrificed the last few tournaments all to prepare for this one, and despite getting a little bit sloppy in the early stages of this match, we're well in contention as we come towards the end. So let's go and get into it in a moment, but first I just want to see how far it would send us up the rankings, and thank you all for following along with this series. Of course there have been plenty of ups and downs along the way, as we've really had to fight hard to get to this stage, and I'm looking up now and seeing that we could get into the top 10 actually. I make it that we go up to 9th or 8th place, so that would be a remarkable achievement, and of course being world champion would be something special. I'd imagine it's probably an achievement in the game as well, but let's go and get into this match and see how we do. Once this series is over, we will have a couple of slightly quieter weeks on the channel as we prepare ourselves for daily FM20 content. The beta's due for release around 2 weeks from now, so hopefully we'll be able to get going with that. We've already announced the sides we've been managing in our long-term story and our beta saved, so make sure you're up to date with our FM20 plans playlist, as we've got all of the content that will be coming on the channel next year. Our Cricket 19 career will also continue as well. We're really starting to make some headway in that one now, and we've moved up to the hardest difficulty of them all, so fingers crossed we'll be able to compete at the top level. That one continues on Tuesday and Saturday at midday, and as we mentioned, as soon as FM20 is released, we'll have daily content from that game too. On Sunday we've got the final episode of our FM19 story, that's with Torquay United, and over the next couple of weeks we'll have a couple of specials from that one, as we reflect on the footballing world 20 years in the future, and see how Torquay get on after we retire. But into the Snooker World Championship final, we're coming towards the end of this game, as we're trying to shock the world number one Ronnie O'Sullivan, and let's get into it and see where the match stands. You can see we lead 5-4 in this best of 11 match, so one more frame needed in the last two and we should be able to get over the line. We led 1-0 early on and then Ronnie O'Sullivan won 4 in a row, and we've come back and done exactly the same thing. So it has been a topsy-turvy match and I'm not getting too excited yet, but let's see how the next frame goes. Ronnie O'Sullivan will be ready to break. Here we go then, the rocket's breaking off. Now on the left side of the table, quite often goes for a left-handed break in real life, so perhaps not the most realistic there. He doesn't even get the cue ball back up to the baulk line, but he has kept all of the red safe, so we're just going to have to play a relatively containing safety shot. We've set up the safety shot then, just going for the loose red. We could play off the outside of the red just beyond the pink on the left hand side, but it does risk and bring that corner pocket into contention, so we're just going to play it safe for now. The fans are clapping, I don't know why, and it's the one observation I've made from this final actually, and it's something we did pick up on in the semi a little bit. In that one we weren't playing the highest ranked opponent, so we could understand it to an extent, but look at the arena, it's almost empty. The Crucible Theatre is normally packed to the rafters on final day, and that's whether Ronnie's in the final or not. If he's there he'd certainly be full. We'd expect to be the underdog and not be the fans' favourite, but of course as he's played another good safety shot, we're a little bit disappointed it's mostly empty. I'm not sure if we can avoid this red halfway up the left hand side cushion, so we might have to play off the other side of the table, and then we've got to contend with the black as well, as that's in a pretty awkward spot for us. So we're going to go for 40% power again, try and get a thin enough cut that we're back up the table, but we've connected with it full and that's an awful shot, and it's going to be at least one red onto the middle, although the blue might have just saved the day, but I don't think it's quite come to our rescue. So Ronnie should pot this pretty comfortably, gets himself onto one, and he's managed to come up for one of the baulk colours, has he? Not the best angle on the green, he might have just come a little too far, but the yellow or brown are easy pots. So let's just make sure this goes in, and then we'll give him a chance to build his break. It's the green he's gone for, and he has managed to cut it in, and he's got down for a couple of reds as well, so we'll leave Ronnie O'Sullivan to build his break quickly, something he's done a couple of times already. Once we're back at the table we'll be back on camera again, hopefully the frame will still be within reach. Well, we're back at the table and the frame's not over yet. Ronnie O'Sullivan's built a quick 41-point lead and he's left nothing on, so we're not going to be able to pot from here. The black's out of play at the top end of the table and the pink's surrounded by reds as well, so it's not the best position for us to get back into it, but if we can get this safety shot right, hopefully we'll be able to get back on top. I'm not sure if we managed to get that nudge on the red in the end. We have managed to get the cue ball safe though, so fingers crossed we did touch it. We did, so there's no foul there. Ronnie O'Sullivan will play a safety shot and hopefully he'll leave us something on. It looks like he's come back up the table pretty well and he's covering the reds with the yellow, so I'm not sure we're going to be able to pot anything here, but we are going to be able to play a similarly good safety. It's the one difference in the final. He's played a really high standard. We have thrown away a couple of frames, we can't forget that. So early in the match we missed the blue off the spot when we were trying to clear up. We were 17 ahead with 18 remaining, or maybe 16 ahead at the least, and we managed to throw it away from there, so that was probably the worst one we've given away. And we've missed a couple of colours off the spot in the other frames, but otherwise we've played pretty well generally. The yellow's been nudged, but it looks like we've got the red safe again. There is just one poking out there which the cue ball can get to, so fingers crossed he won't be able to pot it. If he does, we're probably going into a decider, and I'd imagine Ronnie had used his experience at that point. The red's almost straight, but he misses it, and that's surely going to leave something on for us. That red's hovering towards the top left corner pocket, and we're going to be very unlucky not to have an easy pot here. The other red goes to the bottom corner too, so a couple of options for us to start our break. Let's just pot this red and try and get on a colour, and from that point we can worry about getting back into it. So I think this should pot pretty comfortably. We've just got to find a route to get on a colour, and I'm not sure what the best way of doing that is. We're just going to have to cannon past this red and try and get up for blue or pink. 63% power, that has gone absolutely woefully. The pink is a very thin cut now, but I think we've got no choice but to go for it. So here it is then, make or break moment for the frame. Could be a brilliant pot on the pink, could also be a missed opportunity, and there's no way we're not going to leave a red on here. The pink's going in, that's a big result, and I think we're going to be perfect on this red at the top. We have just got ourselves back into the frame with one fantastic shot. That is absolutely remarkable. I think you can probably tell I wasn't expecting to pot that. So this red should be fairly comfortable. I was seeing if we could get back for the black, but I'm not sure that's going to be possible either. So we're going to have to settle for brown or yellow. Hopefully we won't come too far off the cushion. It should be quite straight and give us a chance to get on a red. Any medium length pot from here is fine. We're not too worried about getting close to the object ball. So if we pot the brown with 25% power, no need to hit this one too hard. Is it going to go in? It does. I thought we were going to hit the near jaw for a moment, and I think we can just about get to the red, although that one's pretty well covered as well. So I might have made a hash of this. Again, we've managed to not get on a red. This is absolutely disastrous, and a real lack of attention in that one. So let's try and play off the cushion. We're going to have to go safe again, and fingers crossed we can get this cue ball safe, but we've got to get between two reds on the left side of the table, and that's going to be very difficult to achieve. The only other option is to come off the other end of the reds. That one leaves us a little bit closer to the corner pocket though, and that's something that I don't really want to chance either, so I think we're going to risk going between the two on the left. Hopefully we'll be able to get back up the table safely, though of course we could be about to throw away the frame just two shots after the most brilliant one of the match. 41% power, we need the luck, we've just gone past the two reds, and now we've hit it too hard and the green's got to come to our rescue, something we've not managed to get, so the red's a pretty straight pot for Ronnie. Let's see if he puts it in and he'll have a chance to win it again, and I'm sure he won't throw away a second chance, not something he's done in this match yet. Here he goes for the red, into the bottom corner, and he's got back up for the blue as well, so we'll let him carry on that break, and fingers crossed we will get a third chance, but I don't think Ronnie's going to be that considerate. Well, there's just a chance it could be our lucky day today. Ronnie O'Sullivan's built his lead up to 41 points again, but now he's left us a chance on a red. There's 51 remaining on the table, and the other two reds are pretty much out of action, but we're just going to try and drop this one into the middle pocket and see if we can pot a colour from there. There's a few options to the top corner. We could go for pink to middle, blue to top corner if we want the higher point scoring colours, although we could go for the green as an alternative, but it wouldn't leave us much wiggle room for the rest of the frame. So let's try and put the pink in. Of course, if we miss it, that all becomes irrelevant. And we've got to try and find a path between the colours here. This is going to be something difficult and the most important moment of the match. 97% power then. Let's crash this one in. The pink goes in. Are we going to cannon into that red? Could have been perfect, but it hasn't worked out that way. The cue ball's heading towards the middle pocket, but thankfully it didn't have enough power on it. So the two reds are safe. We can't pot from here, but we can just play the casual safety, the roll up, and make sure that we don't go any further and don't have any risk of leaving the red on. We just want to get a tiniest connection on it. 9% power. We've overhit it slightly and we could come back to regret that, but I don't think we've hit it too hard. We're just about going to get away with it. Ronnie O'Sullivan can play safe from here. We've still got 9 points wiggle room in this frame, and we just need him to make a mistake and leave one on, and even if we rattle them off one at a time, that works out pretty well for us in the end. He's got the red behind the pink, so it may not pot, although the angle might work out nicely here. Let's see if we can get to the potting angle. Not quite, he's just timed it right. That's going to work out perfectly for him, and we're going to have to make sure we connect with this one well. If not, we could leave it over the corner pocket, and we've overhit it to start with, which isn't a good sign. We've cannoned into the other red at the bottom. It does mean both of them are safe, although we haven't quite got behind the green and yellow. That would have been the perfect moment here. We did win one frame with loads of snookers. It was a fantastic moment in the series. Considering all that time we spent trying to improve our safety game, it really felt like a crowning achievement. One of the reds has come up the table right next to the black spot, and although it can be potted to the middle, it's extremely thin for a cut, and I don't know that I want to take that risk. So what I think I'm going to do is hit it back down the table and screw back behind the black if possible, just to make sure we don't leave anything on. We've got to take care of business here and make sure we don't leave a frame winning opportunity. So we're going to send the red down the table. We might even be able to come back behind the green and yellow actually. 46% power, we've got to get this right. 47 it's turned out to be. We are perfectly behind the green and we've got a snooker on both, have we? That is a fantastic shot, and let's see if Ronnie can get out of this one. We could be putting some points on the board here as he's having to go for the top of the table and he's completely missing it, I think. What's going to happen? Oh, he's missed them all, and he cannons into the brown on the way back up, and if we've got a chance we're going to make him retake it. We want to get as many points back here as possible. Well, as promised, we're going to make Ronnie retake it. The gap down to just 30 points now, and he's giving us so much leeway if he keeps missing this. He has connected the second time though, but with no control of where the cue ball's going. He's going to get lucky here though. It's going behind the blue, is it? It's not, it just nudges into it, and we have now got a golden ticket to win this one. So the red's pretty much straight. We've just got to make sure we pot it, focus on the pot, and then let's get a position. And if we can get a decent angle on black or blue, that should serve us well for the future. We're going to try and come back for blue, as I think that's a better one to get out the way. It's closer to the yellow and green, which we're going to need as part of this clearance. So let's make sure we pot the red, and then we can get ourselves on a colour. If we don't come far enough, then we have still got the black. But either way, we've got to get back down for this red. We might even stick with a pink now actually. It's down the table and allows us to stay on the red, and I think it is probably the easiest pot of the three, although I may come back to regret that if we miss it. So let's just put the red in, shall we? We'll worry about the rest afterwards. Can we get ourselves on the red from here, even if we're just nestling it into the middle pocket? 30% power then. Let's just make sure we drop it in. We've overhit it slightly, but the pink goes in. We're on the red to the middle pocket, and we've now got a great chance to win this frame, and we've hit the Snooker World Championship. It would be a crowning achievement, but I don't want to speak too soon. We've got plenty of chances to throw this away yet, and of course glory brings pressure with it, and I'll be ready to handle it towards the end here. So we're going to just try and rest this one in. Just 18% power. We've even managed to underhit that, but most importantly the red drops in. We can hit the pink and get a good angle to get back up for the yellow, and as long as we stay in this frame it doesn't matter. I've just got to make sure we don't get obstructed by another colour. They're all very tightly bunched up there, and we've got to be very careful with how we place this. So we're going to go for the pink, just 35% power, and as long as it goes in we're not going to complain. Where do we finish compared to the yellow? We're getting a little bit close to it for my liking, but we're just about alright. And what a tense moment this is. We've just got to clear up the colours to win. win it. We're 16 points behind, 27 left on the table, and now we know we've got the brown in the way here. We have to avoid it. Even if we just get a little nudge on it, actually, will leave us nicely on the green, and that's just about as good as we could have hoped for. The green's then a pretty straight pot. We can screw back and get a natural angle for the brown, and then it's just blue and pink that will be required, and we will be the champion of the world in this sport. 35% power should do the trick here. We're just going to try and get a good angle on the brown. We've underhit it slightly and we're a little bit high here. That's a little bit of a concern for me, but we should still be able to cut this in. It just makes the next positional shot a bit harder. 11 points behind now, 22 left on the table, and we're just 4 pots away from becoming the world champion. Here we go then, we're going to chance the brown into the top left corner pocket. Fingers crossed it drops in and we can get a decent enough angle on the blue. 33% power, brown is in and the blue is on. It's a pretty hard angle, and whether we can get down for the pink I don't know, but that will bring us back towards level terms, and we're just going to need the last 2 colours then. So let's see if we can pot the blue. We're not too worried about the angle we get on the pink. This is mostly about not missing the pot, and if we end up not getting on a colour, then so be it, we'll have to play a safety. So 39% power, the blue goes in. Oh, we've got a horrible angle on the pink. We're almost straight with it, and that is going to be a really difficult pot. Becoming the World Snooker Champion has so much pressure attached to it, and when showing just that here, do I play a safety or try and pot the ball? I think in my normal style I have to try and pot it. If we change here, we're just showing our weakness, but this is going to be a really difficult pot, and this could go completely wrong. If we end up in a final frame from missing this, then we're never going to recover, but let's just go for it and see what happens. 28% power, we're waiting, it's in, but again we've got a poor angle on the black. We are not making this easy at all, but fingers crossed, without having to worry about position, we are going to be able to pop this ball. If we lose it on the black, it's going to be the 1980s all over again. Dennis Taylor v Steve Davis, the very famous final. Let's see what we can do on 30% power. Please drop in. It does. We're the champion of the world. What a perfect ending to the series. 33 episodes and over half a year making it, and what a fantastic end to the season. The confetti's out as we celebrate to the pretty empty crowd. Why it's so sparse I'm not quite sure, but we lift the championship without all the razzmatazz. An improvement in terms of the animation, but probably not quite as realistic as expected. The empty seats is the biggest one for me, but there's nothing to stop it now. We are the champion of the world. We made the highest break in the match and we won just over half the points. A 6-4 victory against namesake Ronnie O'Sullivan, and we can well and truly say we emulated him in the series. Let's go through and see what that means at the end of the year, if there's anything else that follows it up, and then we'll sign off by reflecting on our season and our career as the Snooker World Champion. There we go then, confirmation the World Snooker Championship trophy is heading into our cabinet. Just the second one we've won in this series, but of course the most important. The high break goes to Ronnie O'Sullivan, we don't care about that. And we've won some rewards as well, a lovely purple waistcoat. So that's something we would have used in year 2, but of course we're not going to be worrying about that for now. We finish as the world number 9, having won the Snooker World Championship, a best break of 93 and 500 grand in the bank. And if we go and look at the Snooker World rankings now, we're above the likes of Stuart Bingham, who we beat in that run, Jack Glizowski, Sean Murphy, who we beat as well, Ding Junhui rounds off the top 10, and we're above some of the biggest players in the game. That's an absolutely remarkable achievement. We're right up there in terms of earnings as well, probably just one good tournament away from the top 5, which wouldn't have been expected at the start of the year. So what a fantastic season it's turned out to be. We struggled to win a match for the first 4 or 5 tournaments, barely winning a frame for the first month of our career. And of course we did win one tournament on the way, the Scottish Open, about midway through the year, and then we had to start fine-tuning our game to make sure we got to prime position for this tournament. But it's all paid off in the end. We finished the series in a story as the world champion. What a fantastic achievement, and we did emulate his namesake, so a fantastic way to end it. A massive thank you to everyone who's followed along for the last few months, all of the highs and lows, sticking with me in those early weeks where I couldn't commentate on the matches, where I was concentrating so much and missing nearly every part. But if you did enjoy the fact that we finally got to win the World Championship and made it all the way to the top of the game, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Of course beating Ronnie in the final made it extra special, and I hope the way we did it was ultra satisfying. Let me know in the comments if you've managed to achieve it in your game. Have you made it to the Snooker World Championships and won it? We really did have to focus on safety play towards the end. No century breaks at all in that run to the final. Not like in other tournaments. We couldn't just obliterate the opposition. We had to play safe and we had to play clever. Subscribe to the channel for daily FM20 content as soon as the beta's released. As we mentioned earlier, we've announced all the clubs we'll be managing, and there was a vote in our initial plans video too. That enabled you to shape some of the content on the channel, so do make sure you go back and have your say. There's also 2 episodes a week from my Cricket 19 career. That continues on Tuesday and Saturday at midday. That'll be going long term as we try to emulate Alistair Cook, reaching the Ashes with England and trying to help our side to victory. So fingers crossed we'll be able to make it to there. Of course we didn't think this was achievable at one point, but we didn't think we'd win the World Snooker Championship either, so hopefully we'll end both series having done both. And then finally on Sunday we've got the conclusion of our FM19 story. That's with Torquay United. We finished with a massive game in the Champions League, so do come along and check it out. I'm gonna need all the support I can get. But a massive thanks for watching this one as always, and your continued support with the series and channel. I really do appreciate it and hope you enjoyed the series. And I'll see you soon on the channel with more brand new sports content as we get the ball rolling with Football Manager 2020.